Hey y'all, it's Bre'Anna J and
Vinay.
we want to say welcome to our fourth episode of Don't Speak for Us. So today we're going to talk about trauma and healing. So Vinay, what is your definition of trauma?
I would say like certain things that we've been through in our past, through experiences, how they still present themselves, still triggers us, and still affects us right now in the present.
Yeah, that's pretty much what sums it up. In your experiences and relationships in general, like, how did you know that something traumatized you? Like, if you had a certain situation that happened to you, how did you realize that you were traumatized?
I think because of like the things that would trigger me.
How did you
know
how did you know your triggers? Like, what were some things, like, give me examples of what triggered you?
Someone lying to me. Like, you know how women...
We talking specifically on relationships, right? Or are we talking about relationships, friendships?
I mean, for me, it would be more so relationships.
Okay.
I don't think I've really been through like traumatic situations in friendships.
I have been through traumatic friendships. I just had one like a couple years ago, and it really hit me hard. I don't even know if it hit that person like the way that it hit me. I could be wrong, you know. I don't know what that person's feeling like on the other side of the world. We've yet to come together and find a compromise. But friendships can cause traumas too, and some people can go through PTSD even with traumas, like, you know,
like trusting another friend.
Yeah,
friendship.
Definitely.
I understand that. Same thing with relationships, trusting other relationships, because at this moment, the way it's looking, the way the trauma's set up,
do not enter.
All y'all looking like cheaters, liars, and living double lives to me. You are guilty until proven innocent.
So share a story. You can share an experience from how you've been traumatized in a relationship, and I can share one I'll share my friendship experience that traumatized me.
I feel like what traumatized me when it comes to relationships, because it feels like, okay, in the relationships before, pre-marriage relationships, I feel like, okay, I've been through, you know, certain heartbreaks. I got over it, whatever the case is. But what my expectation of, you know, my marriage was like, okay, I'm not going to experience these things in my marriage. Like, my marriage is going to be better than that. Like, I'm not going to have to go through what I went through, you know, pre-marriage, while we're young and, you know, still living life, still not knowing better, still naive on certain situations and things like that. So I felt like, you know, I'm not going to face none of these things in my marriage. Like, we're together, we're not going to do certain things we did like when we were single. But I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's like my partner was still living like he was single in our marriage.
Do you think that was because of not being ready, or lack of immaturity, or a combination?
I think it was immaturity. Because it's like, instead of like dealing with certain situations that we face head on, he would rather like just go out.
So you feel like he did it by choice?
Definitely.
By, like, you know, some people struggle with maturity, like coming into adulthood and taking responsibilities. Like, I think there's just some type of personalities that they have, and I'm speaking on myself, okay? Like, I'm not speaking on other people. Like, I feel like for a long time I didn't feel like an adult. And so it took me, I've always felt mature, but I always felt like certain responsibilities I knew I was not ready to handle. And so when I would go forth and trying to handle those certain responsibilities, it would be like a struggle. So, you know, for me, like, I wonder if that's the case with some men in their marriages, you know, when they choose to cheat or they choose to go out and make certain responsibilities. Are you struggling to be the person you're supposed to be, or are you just doing it in spite of because you feel like it's fun and I can do whatever I want or I can't get caught? Like, do you understand what comes with the marriage, you know? And I think a lot of people just don't know, they don't know that they're struggling. So they're just going at it, and they continuously make these mistakes until they realize, okay, I can't do this stuff. This is not what is supposed to be the responsibility of a marriage. So that's just a perspective, but go ahead, anyway, continue.
Yeah, that's what, you know, that, I think that really hit hard, like, when it comes to, like, trauma, because it's now, like, now that I'm separated, getting a divorce is like if another guy come when I do start dating, because I'm not dating. I'm gonna keep reminding you. But when I do start dating, eventually, like, I'm gonna be giving these men the side eye, like, what you come here for? Who sent you?
You know, like, I do the same thing.
Yeah, I really feel like, I don't know. God gonna have to work on my heart with this next one.
But even with dating, I've learned that I still have those flaws too. Like, I'm looking at every man, like, you know, you see certain situations and you just like, okay, guilty till proven innocent.
And in fact, if you see any resemblance of what, yes, it's like a trigger.
Like a flea. I'm out of here. I can't do this. Yeah, I can't do this. Red flag. But you have to. It makes it hard sometimes, but you have to learn how to meet a person where they at. And I've learned to, if you try to understand where a person has come from, then you can understand why they are the way they are, why they are the way that they are in the current space that they're in. And it gives a little leeway to be compassionate, but you don't have to be tolerant of what they put out to you.
The way I feel about it is, like, if you're not ready,
just say you're not ready.
Just say that. And if you're not ready, leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Why
don't pursue me. Don't talk to me.
Real.
Don't look at me. Don't wink at me. Don't flirt with me. Don't
side eye me.
Don't nothing.
Don't
leave
have
me
no,
alone.
Don't
leave me
no
where
thought.
I'm at.
Don't have no thoughts.
Don't bother me.
I don't even exist in your world. I don't need to. I feel that.
People out here taking you on emotional roller coasters.
Yes, like,
let me off.
I think that's the scary thing about dating and relationships, is that you could potentially get to know a person and you not even know that you're an option, but they're treating you like you're a priority, and you find out that you're an option. And then you jump on that roller coaster of emotions, and they looking at you like you crazy because they got you thinking one way and it's really another way in their mind.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying, like the leading on, the lying, the secrecy, the cheating, you know what I'm saying, like, then you wonder why a girl got insecurities. And you're like, oh, well, I didn't know it was like that, or I didn't know she was, you know what I'm saying, they play the I didn't know role.
Yeah.
Or, well, you signed up for this. I hate when a person says something like that. Just be aggravating me. We finished your story? You finished your what's my trauma story? Well, I have a trauma with the relationships. I obviously just said that. I had to come to a conclusion, like, recently, to say, dang, you still got trust issues. And I used to have a positive thought about trusting people. I would trust people first and allow them to show me otherwise. But then when I was doing that, I was getting burned a lot. Like, and I mean, like, they were showing me their true colors, and I was the one that would get hurt.
Yeah.
And then I'm the one that have to pick up my emotions, pick up my heart off the floor, or be traumatized. I think My trauma story from friendships is that I remember over the years, because I just wanted to feel accepted by people. I've never really, I always felt like I was walking by myself. I always felt like I was just an outcast.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was nothing more important than, and I think it's the rejection from, it comes from being without my dad, and I just question a lot of things. So, and including myself, I would.
Yeah.
So when friends will come along, some people can see your gifts, your creativity. They can see who you are as a person when you don't see yourself. And then some people will use that to make you a better person, and then you'll have some people that won't. They'll use it against you.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I had friends that would see my gift or my crafts or whatever, and they would use it against me. They know that I had a good heart. They know that I was willing to give. They know that I was willing to, you know what I'm saying, I was ride or die for my friends. And they felt like they were taking advantage of me. Mm-hmm. And then when I would see them level up, I would feel stupid.
You know what I feel like? I believe that me and you both, like, we both love to give. We're naturally givers, and we tend to attract takers.
Oh,
like
yes, absolutely. It's like a sport,
a magnet. Yeah.
And I had to learn to stop accepting those people, you know. And it's the bigger your heart is, you want to give. You just want to help people. Like when they're in sorrow, it's like you just want them to be okay. You want them to be happy.
Mm-hmm. I feel like our friendship, the way that we are, like we're both givers, and it comes through like when it comes to us, it's like reciprocated.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the way that we will measure friendships and relationships from like moving forward.
Yeah.
Like that's why reciprocation is so big for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like I've always been the giver, even in my relationships, even like in my marriage, he'll take, but he wouldn't reciprocate.
Mm-hmm. And
you get burned out. You feel
your
taken for granted. Your cup is always empty. Mm-hmm. Your love tank is never full. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's why with me,
negative deposits, positive deposits.
And that's why that's a trigger for me too. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to friendships, like whatever it is, like if I'm giving you and you're always on the receiving end, it's a trigger for me.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, okay, you're not reciprocating. Even in friendships, I feel like your love tank could be on empty.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, just being an adult, my last friendship, I met this person, absolutely, I adored her. Still adore her to this day. And I felt like when I met her, I don't have any regrets that I met her. Mm-hmm. I think the heartbreaking part is that she was not willing to see her flaws. And for me, I was in a space like I want to transition. I want to I'm transforming just continuously. And I remember her saying like, she picked like my album cover. Like the name of my album, pretty much. Because she called me the Genesis. She was like, you're transforming consistently. And so she was saying she watched me transition in the course of 6 months. Mm-hmm. Like she saw me making the progress, right? So I feel like in that friendship, at the time that I need her, she was literally outweighing every friend that I had at the time. Mm-hmm. She was just showing up. She was proving. We were still on different sides of the world, but I always wanted to talk to her. You want to talk to your friends. You want to spend time with your friends, the ones that you really, really love, you really appreciate. So it just felt like, I was going through it. Emotionally, I was just going through it. Mm-hmm. Financially, I was going through it. And I just felt like you have to have healthy boundaries in friendship. So she didn't really know how to tell me that what I was going through is too much for her, because she was dealing with stuff on the receiving end. Mm-hmm. But she had this mindset of I'm going to only allow myself to deal with something for 48 hours and be done. And I didn't necessarily think that was a bad thing because you can't dwell on certain things.
Yeah.
However, some things do take time. You have to, because you'll grieve or you'll be traumatized and you'll be living with that experience. And I didn't realize that one of her biggest flaws was that she couldn't accept, she couldn't have tough conversations. So when we had our first hash out 3 years into our friendship, it cost us our friendship. It was, for me, I was like, well, sisters fight.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I was like, sisters fight. Let's talk through it. Let's move forward. And she chose to make an exit. And I think I couldn't even, it just didn't sit well with me. Because here I am, like for a long time, I'm like, I finally found my soul sister, like the one, like I'm a grow old with sister. And I was like,
there was an abandonment.
Yeah. I felt abandoned. That's exactly how I felt. I felt abandoned. And I don't even know how she feels at this very moment. I actually wrote her a letter, like, the following year for our anniversary of our friendship. And I was going to send it, but I didn't even send it.
Never sent it.
I just felt like I needed to write it out and leave it where it was at.
Yeah.
Just to process my emotions. But I felt like moving forward, I just didn't really... It was hard for me to trust friends. Like, I feel like our friendship was authentic, how we met. You know what I'm saying? We got to the job, we got hired, we got fired. But, like, literally, we were there every day. Just think about every day we was there
I think
with
we
each
were
other.
literally just there to meet each other.
Yeah, I do too. But at the same time we were there, we were like this. It was other people in the environment, but it was like we naturally just gravitated towards each other. And then from that day forward, at work we was together every day.
Yeah.
They're like, look at them, thing one and thing two, walking in here.
Gosh. One of the things you said that I'm thinking about now is you said that you had to write it out and leave it there. I think, like, okay, when it comes to like healing and how we heal from our traumas, I believe writing is one of the ways that I heal as well. Is there anything else that you...
Oh girl, why do you think I'm a songwriter? Like, music, well, is my therapy when or creating. Like, how I've dealt with most of my problems, I either wrote it in a song, or I either wrote it in a journal, or I either just wrote my thoughts out. I probably got plenty of notes in my cell phone.
Yeah, me too.
Just writing stuff out. Yeah. And then after a while, once I have come to terms with it, I delete it.
It's a sense of release.
Yeah. If I had any other... Oh, I had this thing with talking it out. I have to find somebody immediately. Somebody that I know that I can trust, that I know is willing to listen and that's going to give me... great advice on how to deal with it. So I do feel like even if it's not a therapist, it pays to have someone that is going to hear you out. And I don't care if they bias in the moment, but it's important to vent. Because and I think it's good to vent, like you continuously need to talk about something until it's out of your system. So for me, I do that. It might take me 4 friends. I'm for real. It might take me 4 of my trusted friends to say, I need to talk to this person because I need everybody to understand. And then I am to a person that will say, am I tripping? Like, let me know so I can correct myself and so I can move forward. So that's kind of how I deal with my trauma. I don't know.
I mean, definitely this podcast is helping too. Like, when it comes to writing, venting, what else? What else would you say is a part of your healing process that has helped you heal through those traumas? Like, when it comes to friendship, what made you be okay with befriending another person like me?
Well, I like to believe that God puts people in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. Like, I mean, might sound cliche, but it's true. in my transformation, just over time, I had to learn to be okay with letting people enter and exit my life.
Okay, yeah.
And that's a hard pill to swallow when you're trying to hold on to something like a moment, or you're trying to hold on to good people. But, oh yeah, so friends for me is in the category of season, reason, and lifetime. So you have those that come in and they teach you lessons and they leave.
Yeah.
You have the ones that you can tell that they're authentic and they're just going to be around for a long time because you don't really have any disagreements. You don't really have, it's just an easy breezy, just kind of smooth, smooth relationship. And then you have people that come in and they show you their true colors and you like, okay, they gotta go. But they still teach you something, even if it's good or bad. So I start categorizing people like that, and then I had to learn to say it's okay to allow people to come in and out of your life. Once I got that, because again, going back to being the fatherless child and having that rejection and holding on to those sacred people in those moments, I just had to learn, okay, you've got to accept. And this might be weird, but just think about how we live and we die. Think about how you lose a person and you don't lose it. You're not okay with them leaving, but you learn to live without them. So I started looking at everybody that way. Yeah. Like tomorrow I could be gone, or tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Anybody could be gone. And so how did you leave these people? Did you leave them in a good way? Did you leave them in a bad way? Like, I even went as far as trying to make it right, even if we don't get along, even if we don't hang out afterwards, if we don't talk. But I've just learned to make amends and let bygones be bygones. Because that's part of my healing process. Because I've had people that I've held on and let them hurt me. Like, they hurt me, and I feel like it was part of my fault. I allowed them to hurt me. But years down the road, and I say, well, this is still affecting us. I know it's affecting me. I don't know about you, but I need to talk about it with you because I want us to be okay. Yeah. We don't have to be good. We don't have to be great. We don't have to be the best of friends like we were 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But let's make it right. We're adults now. Yeah. And let's just move forward. But we move forward on a clean slate. We let everything go in the past. And we're good. That's how I look at my healing, acceptance. Start accepting it happened. It was a bad moment and it hurt you bad, but accept that it happened. What are you gonna do to fix it in the process? Where's the solution? So that's just how I started looking at stuff.
I think with me, the way I heal from trauma is by first recognizing that I do have trauma. And
what they always say, admitting you have a problem.
Recognizing my triggers, allowing myself to, just allowing myself to feel that pain, to feel that hurt, and to process it, and to forgive, and to take the mask off. Like, it's not always okay. I'm not always okay. It's okay to lean on other individuals. Like, I don't have to keep it bottled in and go through it alone. Like you said, venting to other people like that you trust. Because for a long time I kept a lot in, and I didn't tell people stuff because I felt like, okay, like, I don't want sympathy. I don't want you to tell me, oh, it's gonna be okay, because I don't feel like it is. Like, I didn't want encouraging words. I didn't want none of that. I just wanted to self-pity myself.
You want to say how you feel? Yeah. Just say, I don't need your response.
Yeah.
Just hear me.
But now
just be in the room and take up space.
Yeah. But now I see that I am healing because I'm able to talk. Hey, I'm able to do this podcast.
Yeah. That
is definitely
but not
me.
for just you. For me too. I like to talk about stuff. But I only like to talk about things in the privacy of people I trust. Exactly. So exploiting things that's personal,
where people can leave their comments and their negativity,
that's a big deal. Yeah. For me, like, as a music artist, I've always been so reserved because I watched artists and their business be put out there and they're traumatized and they're going through stuff. So I'll literally like, okay, you can't tell you're going through something, but they don't need to know what you're going through. When you get in front of the camera, they don't need to know your business.
You put on this face.
Yeah, but you're human. We're human. Yeah. And so it happens. And once I started to accept, then I was like, okay, it's okay. Like, who cares? And caring about what people think. I think sometimes we don't want to go through the scrutiny. We don't want to be humiliated when somebody finds out our business, or we don't want the public judgment of people having their opinions and piling that on us.
I'd rather tell them myself.
Now that I will do. I'd rather go out.
I'd rather tell my story before you tell my story with some added drama, added lies, and added all.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, that's facts. Let me, if I'm embarrass myself,
let me embarrass myself. Let me be the one to embarrass myself.
If I'm out here looking stupid, let me do it first. Cause I'd rather me say it than you say it.
No, for real.
I think.
What would be like something you would? I want to feel like we're giving people advice because we're not like. I mean, we could only speak for ourselves.
But through our experiences, they can learn from us.
Through your experience, what is one thing that you would say to another woman who is having a hard time dealing with their trauma?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say come to terms. Once you come to terms and you accept, you can then begin your healing process. Mm-hmm. And the forgiveness is of what that person did to you to traumatize you. Yeah. Is once you forgive, you got to understand that you got to forgive within yourself. Mm-hmm. Because it's for you. It's not for them. They literally can hurt you and be living their lives and moved on. They could have forgotten. Most people who have hurt other people, they don't even remember that they hurt that person years down the line. They're like, I did that? I don't even remember that I did that. So you can be holding on to that. You can be dwelling onto that. But once you come to acceptance and decide to forgive that person, you're really forgiving that person for yourself. So once you do that, then you can be able to come to terms with that person and tie loose ends, and then just kind of stop replaying that moment in your mind. Mm-hmm. Because the goal is to let it go. Mm-hmm. Let it go. You will look up and you're 50, 60, and you holding on to something that somebody did to you when you were 20. Yeah. And it's keeping you from creating other relationships with people. It's keeping you from creating other friendships with people. You can literally be tied up in your trauma and you don't see that God have sent you a new friend to restore your heart. Mm-hmm. Or a new lover to restore your heart. So you have to be open as well to receiving that those things. That's the advice.
That makes sense. And I would say forgive yourself too, because I had to forgive myself for letting a lot of things slide.
The guilt. Yeah. The guilt can pile up. It can definitely pile up. And you can question a lot of things and you can start to beat yourself up. But you got to take it easy on yourself. Sometimes we beat ourselves up a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. And self-sabotage. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you could literally self-sabotage those new relationships. You can literally see somebody and they're trying, and because your trust is your guard is so high, you knocking down everything they're trying to build to reach your guard, to climb over it.
And that's my desire to really heal. Like when it comes to like venting and writing things down and communicating, I feel like that's part of my maturing, because the old me, who I said bottled stuff in, like you'll do something for me, it's like I was keeping it in, and then that last straw blew up. And you're like, damn, like I didn't even do nothing this major, but it's because of the build up. Yeah.
It's the build up from the deposits that other people have done to you.
Yeah.
And then it's unfortunate that the person in the current space and they trigger you and then you explode on them.
Yeah.
You just unloaded a whole tank from the past on that person.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. That's why it's important to vocalize how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. I feel like you hold on to that stuff for too long, it will create an internal illness. Like for me, I think personally, this might be a little personal, but I think that's what happened to my grandmother. Or any.
What would you say to me, as far as someone who used to, because I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that did the same. Me, as far as when I did vocalize how I was feeling and I wanted to communicate, but it's like that person didn't take accountability for how they made me feel, so it causes me to shut down. So it's like I'm telling you, you hurt me in a sense, and you're like,
but you're not receiving.
Yeah.
If a person is not receiving of what you are trying to get them to understand that they're doing to you or how they make you feel, I would say people receive information.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell them something, they hear you. Now, I don't know if they heard you correctly, meaning if they're listening to defend or they're listening to digest.
Yeah.
That's where you have to figure it out. And if a person is not digesting what you're saying, I don't feel like you should have to continually vocalize, hey, you're doing this to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know what they're doing. They have intuition, some people have discernment, they know what they're doing. I would just walk away. I wouldn't continue to tolerate what they're doing to me if they continuously keep doing it. And you keep vocalizing and they're not wanting to communicate back, because communication is a two-way street. Okay, so if it's just one-sided, I would just, I'm not gonna keep telling you. It's like being in a relationship and you loving this person, but they not reciprocating. Do you continue to keep loving this person, or do you say, okay, this is where I draw the line, and I'm gonna start pouring back that love into myself, and I'm gonna move on?
So if I can't vocalize, I am vocalizing how I feel to you. You're not receiving it. So how do I forgive you? How
You have to accept that they are who they are, and you have to meet them where they are. And if they're not choosing to accept your feelings, it's kind of like tough love. You got to just take that. It's like closure. You never really get closure when you want it, right? Mm-hmm. You always get closure when you don't expect it, or you get closure when you don't ask for it. Mm-hmm. So I would just say move on from it. And you naturally just have to get in the habit of freely forgiving people. You ain't got to rock with them. You ain't got to hang out with them. You ain't got to dap them up and say, oh, I know what you did to me. That's your choice if you choose to be that. That's a bigger person. That's a strong person if you can literally become friends with an enemy or somebody that hurt you. Mm-hmm. That just shows your character. But you don't have to. You can just say, I forgive you for what you did to me, but I won't tolerate how you choose not to receive me or receive how I communicate to you. Mm-hmm. I just want to deal with it.
Okay.
Cut him off.
I get it.
Cut him off. It'll be alright. And I just when you think that person gets removed, literally you make a space for someone else to enter your life. Every time you remove a person, another person comes in. Think about that. Mm-hmm. Think about how many times another person has replaced another person, whether it be for better or for worse. But remember, you always attract what you fear, mm-hmm. as they say. So, I think that's why we attract people that need help, because we fear that. Maybe, do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's like magnets. Opposites attract. So I feel like when you become what you fear, you start attracting what you actually want. That sounds like crazy. That's crazy logic, isn't it? But that's what laws of attraction is. You say, I don't need something, I don't want it, and then it comes to you. I'm done with it, and it comes to you. Or you say, I want this, and you're chasing it, and you're trying to grab it, but you don't grab it. It's crazy logic, but that's kind of how life works. Same with people.
Manifest me a man that reciprocates, please.
Run from them. Keep running. They gonna start to show up. I'm for real.
Oh my god.
I literally, okay, listen, I'm telling you, I had a friend and I used to be like, I'm working on myself. I'm working on me. I'm working on me. No, I'm not doing that. I'm working on me. And every time I would say that, it was, I want to love you. I want to be with you. No, you don't. No, you don't. I love you. I like you. I want to be with you. No, you don't. I really believe that. Make your intentions clear. Leave it where it's at. Run. Go in the opposite direction. Because I guarantee you on the other side, you're going to meet that person that you was running from.
Oh god.
They going to already be there. And that's the podcast. That's the episode. We will see y'all later.
It's a wrap, y'all.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Share your stories. Leave them in the comments. We want to hear it. And see you at the next one. Bye.